Scott Peterson murdered his pregnant wife Lacey and dumped her body in San Francisco Bay. Richard Allen Davis abducted and killed 12-year-old Polly Klaus during a sleepover. Rodney Alcala strangled and raped multiple women as the dating game killer. Charles Ng tortured and murdered 11 people with Leonard Lake in a bunker. David Allen Rayleigh stabbed and beat 2 teens, leaving one to die in a trunk. Randy Stephen Kraft killed over 60 men as the scorecard killer. Lawrence Bittaker raped and tortured 5 women with Roy Norris using tools. Kevin Cooper hacked a family of 4 to death with a hatchet. Tyquan Cox shot a family in a gang hit, killing 4. Chester Turner strangled 14 women in LA's Skid Row. Michael Morales raped and stabbed a 17-year-old girl after luring her to her house. Gerald Stanley shot his 4th wife in a jealous rage. Anthony Sully tortured and murdered 6 people, dumping their bodies. Marcus Wesson killed 9 of his own children in a cult-like massacre. Douglas Clark shot and decapitated prostitutes with Carol Bundy. Lonnie Franklin Jr. murdered 10 women as the Grim Sleeper. Cleophas Prince Jr. stabbed 6 women to death in San Diego. Robert Mark Edwards killed 2 women in separate home invasions. Timothy Joseph McGee shot 12 people in a gang-killing spree. Ivan Hill strangled 6 women as the 60 Freeway Slayer. David Carpenter killed at least 7 hikers as the Trailside Killer. John Familaro kidnapped and froze a woman in a freezer. Roy Norris helped Lawrence Bittaker rape and murder 5 women. William Suff strangled 12 prostitutes in Riverside County. Carrie Stainer beheaded a Yosemite tourist and killed 3 others. Vincent Brothers shot his wife, kids, and mother-in-law in a family wipeout. Angelina Rodriguez poisoned her husband with antifreeze for insurance money. Cynthia Kaufman kidnapped and strangled 4 women with James Marlowe. James Gregory Marlowe murdered 4 women alongside Cynthia Kaufman. Stephen Dean Gordon raped and killed 4 women, dumping their bodies. Daniel Wozniak shot a couple and dismembered one for money. Richard Hirschfield raped and killed a UC Davis couple. Joseph James D'Angelo killed 13 as the Golden State Killer. Harvey Lee Green stabbed a woman 30 times in a robbery. John Lee Holt shot a man during a carjacking gone wrong. Maurice Stescal killed a couple in a home invasion. Robert Rhodes strangled a woman in a motel room. Billy Ray Walden murdered 3 people in a crime spree. Rex Allen Krebs raped and strangled 2 college students. Daryl Keith Rich killed 4 women in brutal assaults. Horace Edwards Kelly shot 3 people in a San Bernardino rampage. Stephen Anthony Mobley killed a pizza store manager during a robbery. Dean Carter strangled 5 women across 2 counties. Jarvis J. Masters ordered a prison guard's murder from his cell. Curtis Irvin stabbed a woman during a burglary. Albert Greenwood Brown raped and strangled a 15-year-old girl. Stevie Lamar Fields killed a librarian after abducting her. Mark Soderquist shot a man in a drug deal gone bad. Kenneth McKinsey strangled an elderly woman in her home. Michael D. Matson killed a 9-year-old girl in a park. Wayne Adam Ford dismembered 4 women and turned himself in. Sergio Nelson shot a rival gang member in a drive-by. Andrew Mickle executed a police officer in a planned attack. Joseph Barrett stabbed a man in a bar fight escalation. Edward Patrick Morgan raped and beat a woman to death. Scott Pinholster stabbed 2 men during a burglary. Richard Delmer Boyer killed an elderly couple with a hammer. Robert Lee Burns shot a woman in a robbery attempt. Melvin Turner strangled a woman in a drug dispute. James David Majors killed a man during a carjacking. Eric Royce Leonard murdered 6 people in a Sacramento spree. Stanley Bernard Davis shot a clerk in a store robbery. Ronald Lee Deere killed a man and 2 kids in a rage. David Leslie Murdershaw shot his wife and her friends. Michael Anthony Cox stabbed a man in a gang hit. Robert Lee Ward killed a woman during a home invasion. David Allen Lucas slashed the throats of 6 people. Robert Alton Harris Jr. shot 2 teens after stealing their car. George Smithy killed a man in a drunken fight. Stephen Allen King stabbed a woman in a robbery gone wrong. Mitchell Sims drowned 2 Domino's workers in a bathtub. Kevin Haley murdered 2 elderly women in their homes. Calvin Dion Chisholm shot a man in a drug deal betrayal. Ronald Lee Moore strangled a woman in her apartment. Gerald Frank Stanley killed his 3rd wife with cyanide. Michael R. Gargiulo stabbed 3 women as the Hollywood Ripper. John Anthony Garcia shot a man in a gang dispute. Stephen Hommick killed 3 people in a contract hit. Andrew Hampton strangled a woman during a burglary. Charles Stevens shot a clerk in a liquor store robbery. Donald Ray DeBose killed a woman in a carjacking. Anthony McKnight raped and murdered 5 women. Gordon Stewart Northcott killed 20 boys in the Wineville chicken coop murders. John Gallego murdered a man in a robbery spree. Gerald Parker raped and killed 5 women as the bedroom basher. Timothy Charles Youngblood shot a man in a gang fight. Robert Lee Massey killed a liquor store owner during a holdup. Richard Charles Vieira stabbed a woman in a home invasion. David Earl Williams shot 3 people in a drug dispute. Raymond Lee Euler set a wildfire that killed 5 firefighters. Stephen David Catlin poisoned 2 wives with paraquat. Corell Thomas strangled a woman in a robbery attempt. Samuel Corona shot a man in a gang retaliation hit. Jose Manuel Garcia killed a woman during a carjacking. Lawrence Singleton raped a teen and later killed a prostitute. William Clinton Clark shot a man in a bar brawl. David Allen Turpin tortured and starved his 13 children with his wife. Louise Turpin tortured and starved her 13 children with her husband. Wesley Sherman Tyne killed at least 4 people with Lauren Herzog. Robert Boyd Rhodes abducted and murdered an 8-year-old girl after killing her mother. Keith Daniel Williams shot 3 people dead in a drug-fueled rampage. Robert Joseph Gonzalez killed a man during a robbery and gang dispute. Richard Lucio de Hoyos murdered a 9-year-old girl after abducting her from school. David Allen Smith stabbed a man to death during a home invasion robbery.
Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious.